Cobra's Curse is one of the most unique and well-themed spinning coasters out there. From the moving load and unload station to the elevator lift, this coaster has a lot of quirks. With those also comes a lot of technical difficulties and long wait times. This video is going to be my full review of Cobra's Curse and all of its quirks. Let's get into it. Cobra's Curse is a mock ride spinning coaster that opened in 2016 at Busch Gardens Tampa Bay. It is located in the Egyptian area of the park between Cheetah Hunt and Montu. The coaster has an excavation theme to it, and it is amazing. It has a very good backstory that goes something like this. You are part of an excavation team under the Viper International Survey and Excavation, or the VICE Corporation. They have discovered a snake monument. The head is not on the snake, so your assignment is to reattach it. There are many rumors of a curse that is bestowed on people that reattach the head. Walking through the queue, there are many different rooms that fit into the backstory of this ride. It is mostly air conditioned and is a good spot to get away from the Florida sun. All the rooms are tied into this excavation theme of the ancient site. All the theming is helpful in the long waits the ride receives because it gives waiting guests something to look at. For example, one of the rooms has a snake exhibit in it. Another has hieroglyphs on the wall that are shown by a projector. It is on a cycle that shows an animation every couple of minutes. There's a very final hallway that has the pre-show giving the briefing to oncoming riders. It is the normal, please do not ride if you are pregnant, get dizzy, and so on. The station continues the excavation vibe. You enter a second line to board your train. This is unlike normal coasters where you have a moving gate in front of you that allows you to enter your designated row. Instead, you are to enter when directed by the team members. You step onto a moving platform, then board the trains. It is very similar to boarding the Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket at Universal Studios Orlando. The trains sit 2 across and 4 per row. There are 2 cars for a grand total of 8 people per train. Cobra's Curse has a total of 8 trains. So it's not the best capacity per train, but it makes up for it in the amount of trains that it operates. The cars are designed to look like excavation or mine carts. Once seated, you pull down the lap bars and cruise along the station and into the layout. To start the layout, you pass under the operator's booth and into the pre-lift area. It is a very short drive tire section with a little bit of scenery.
The darkness awakens.
You then advance into a very unique element for a roller coaster, the elevator lift hill. This is a piece of track that the train enters and stops on. The track rises vertically and reaches the tallest point of the ride at 70 feet tall. The elevator lift features 2 sides for more efficiency. It is also themed to fit into this ride, making it look like an elevator shaft or something like that. The train exits the lift and starts with a slightly outer bank turn towards the giant snake monument. This is a really cool part of the ride and is also very picturesque. After passing by the snake, the train dives down the first drop. Here you hit your max speed of 40 miles per hour. At the bottom of this drop, you turn to the right. As you start to rise, you bank the other direction and complete a downward helix. You then hit the mid-course brake run. I will say this is a little bit of a buzzkill. You just started the fastest part of the layout and you're already hitting the brakes. It is a downside to this coaster for sure. But this is where things get crazy. The cars rotate 180 degrees to where everyone is facing backward. You drop off the mid-course into a turning double down. I found this element to be better in the first row of the second car. This turn continues for about 450 degrees. That's pretty much a whole circle plus 1/4 of a circle. Here you enter another lift hill. Again, this is a little bit of a buzzkill as the ride was just picking it back up again and now you're on another lift. This one is made with drive tires though. It has a moderate speed as you go up backward. At the top of this lift, the speed of the tires increases. It took me by surprise the first time I rode it, and the jolt was more noticeable in the second car. You drop off the lift and turn to the right. Here the train unlocks and is able to spin freely through the rest of the ride. Sadly, this does not happen every time. It all depends on the weight distribution in your car. And honestly, I think some of the cars don't spin right to begin with. Or it could just be based on when you go during the day. I seem to have better luck in the morning compared to the afternoons. Maybe it's because the cars are all greased up in the beginning of the day and are running low at the end. Anyways, at the bottom of the drop, you swoop up into a bank turn to the left, and then a bank turn to the right, and then finally one more bank turn to the left. This part is snaking your way back from the main path and around the elevator lift. You then dive under a pathway and fly into the final brake run. That is the layout, and if all goes well, it's very fun. There is not a lot of ejector or floater airtime, there is not a huge height or speed, but it's still a fun coaster for all ages. It is very hard to determine the best seat for a spinning coaster, as every experience should be different. Luckily, this coaster has sections where the train is in a fixed rotation, or the train cannot spin. So for the first parts of the ride, I preferred the first row of the second car. You feel a good speed going down the first drop, and I found the double down to be the best in this row as well. Finally, as you rise up the drive tire lift, there's that jolt of speed at the top that is really felt in this row. After this, it does not matter what seat you are in, as the train should be spinning. Cobra's Curse is a very unique coaster, and as I said earlier, it comes with a lot of technical difficulties. The elevator lift hill is something that is not seen on many roller coasters. It is an innovative concept that requires a lot of attention. It causes the coaster to go down for technical issues a lot. On top of this, some of the cars seem to never spin. I watched countless cars go through the layout without spinning. That is one of the downsides to this ride. Even with these, I have to say this is probably my favorite spinning coaster I've ever been on. Keep in mind that I have not been able to get on Time Traveler at Silver Dollar City, and I have a feeling that one would be my favorite if I had rode it. Another little quirk with this ride is the moving load and unload station. Most coasters have a stationary platform for people to board. This makes it easy for those who are not able to board due to physical limitations. Cobra's Curse has a different way of working at this. As part of the transfer track, there's a platform for handicap. Surprisingly, it does not decrease operation time. Once the train is moved over, the rest of the ride operates as is. When the gap comes back from where the train left, the transfer track moves back and continues running. I was lucky enough to get a ride on this, and it was a pretty cool experience. Alright, so to sum up this review with a pro and con list. One of the biggest things I dislike about Cobra's Curse is that the layout starts, then stops. There's a mid-course brake run and a lift hill very close to each other, and it seems to stop the fun right as it was beginning. I did notice a little bit of a rattle in some sections of the track, but it was not unbearable. Also, the ride tends to go down a lot for technical issues, and some of the cars do not spin correctly. On the other hand, if you get a working car, the ride is different every time. Not only that, but the ride is very fun. The theme for this ride is Disney quality, and the elevator lift hill is a very unique element. So for my final score of Cobra's Curse at Busch Gardens is an 8 out of 10. I think the reason I gave it such a high score is because of the amazing theming. It definitely saved this ride. In terms of ride experience, it would be a little lower. Almost all of my rides, I did not have a spinning car. That is where I had most of the fun. It was also a little disappointing having to start and stop throughout the layout. I think if some of these issues were to be resolved, this coaster could get a 10 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching this review of the best themed spinning coaster, Cobra's Curse at Busch Gardens Tampa Bay. Let me know what you guys think of this coaster in the comments below. If you liked it, please leave a like and consider subscribing, as I plan on making more review videos like this in the future. Until then, peace out.